Hello, shooters, loaders, and casters. Welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. I have got to fix that countdown music because it is in straight contrast with the Georgia Shooting Connection intro music. So we got to fix that. We can't be having all that stuff. So welcome everybody. Hope everybody had a great week. While we were doing that, we got 23 comments over there, and we'll get to that in just a minute. So start us off, CW. How was your week, my brother?
Had a pretty good week. We had a little bit of weather roll through. We had a little more rain coming in. Thankfully, we got no more snow, but it's been cold, seasonal, but pretty good. I was able to get to the range twice this week, so good week. Ricky, how was your week?
Oh, it was pretty good. We had a little rain Tuesday morning, I believe it was. Turned cool on us again a little bit, then it's warming back up. But, been working this week. Other than that, not much going on here. How about you, Gene?
Oh, Ricky, this weather's like my ex-wife. Hot and cold, hot and cold, hot and cold, hot. You never know what to expect. Wake up in the morning, you expect it to be a nice hot day, and it ends up being frosty. How's everybody doing tonight? Good to be here. Good to be here. Sorry about my abrupt leaving last week. I had some things go on. I had to shut it down. But, been busy at work. We got 21,140 pounds of brass in from California that we are busy sorting out right now. And
that cleaned out the whole state.
We did, man.
I'll go check my own supply now.
I got to tell you a short story, though. It comes in from California in like 3-inch thick cardboard boxes. Industrial, huge boxes. Like 48 inches by 48 inches by, I think you're 48 tall. Huge boxes. So we've got to put them up on a forklift and angle them down, and you got to cut a hole in them to dump them down into another bag. Well, I sent my friend Javier up into the box so when he gets down there, he pushes out the rest of the brass. OSHA would love us. I cut the hole with the Sawzall, and as soon as I took that piece of cardboard, the brass started coming out. Javier's a little guy.
Did it
come out that hole.
Oh, man.
Right
Here comes Javier right into the bag.
I laughed so he was screaming, and I'm saying, push back. He was holding onto the sides with his feet out the hole. Mary started crying, laughing now. I cried. Slapped, cried so hard on this one. So that was
sounds like the Toddy Bowl man.
He's enjoyed his first 5 days working with me at Republic Ammunition, and outside a couple things like that, he's really enjoying it. It's hard work, but it's good, honest work, and it's decent pay. So that's all I got for you. Just glad to be here. What about you, Dr. Zink?
Yeah, not much going on this week other than just crazy busy, crazy weather. Rained so hard one day, the next day it's 50 degrees, the next day it's 30. Crazy weather. Me, if no one's seen the video, the reloading guards came by and fixed my, gave me a new part for my Lee benchtop primer. So I'm priming again. And been on the phone with Lee telling him what's wrong with the stupid thing. The guy was looking at it. It's just, no one's ever pointed it out to him. So they looked at it. They're thinking about changing the mold, the dye, whatever. For the inside of where the piston goes, pushes everything up and down. There's two vertical bars that are up and down. Obviously, they stopped the piston from going past that point. Now you're putting pressure on the handle and those things are so thin. I didn't measure it, but I mean they're thin, and that's what happened to mine from years of use. It finally made a notch in it where now the piston went through and pushed so hard it broke the front of the where the case the whatchamacallit, the shell holder sits. It just pushed it forward and cracked the whole end open.
Hmm.
And it didn't take much. It's not that I was pushing it hard. So they at least sent me the part and free. And then I decided to buy a whole nother new one, which will be here tomorrow, just to have a backup. They want $30 for that piece. The whole thing you can buy for $35. So, but they gave it to me for free. It was pretty good. But I've been talking. I had a few conversations with them, and they're going to see if they can improve it. So that's about my week.
Mark, how was your week?
Good, real good. We've been having the same kind of weather that Andy has, just one thing different the other. If you don't like it, wait an hour or two, it's going to change. So there's been no range time since last week. I did get that 44 special out and shot it with new groups. The new grips. That went well.
You got an order in from Viejo, I saw.
Yep. Got some nice bullets, some nice little wad cutters from his video a week or so ago, and a surprise with some 41 special class that I cannot wait to get loaded up. I think that's going to be a lot of fun in that Blackhawk. So just happy to be here. I had a really good Lenten fish dinner tonight, so my belly's nice and full. Let's see if I can stay awake. Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Good deal. Chad, what's up? How are you?
Oh, I had a good week at work. Y'all talking about weather, you ought to try out Kentucky. I mean, I've seen sun and rain and snow all this week. And, got back down into the 30s and 40s, and now next week they're calling for 70s. So
Oh boy.
it's that time of year.
Mud.
Yep.
Mud's coming.
Had a good week and got me a new pew pew today, and got to go to the range and shoot that, and it done really well. Made a video today shooting the new target that we built for Elijah. If you haven't seen that, go over and check out Hillbilly Up's channel and watch that. Go check out Elijah's channel. Day at the Range.
Yep.
We gave the video to Elijah so he'd have some content on his channel, and he emailed me and said, "Man, I laughed so hard I thought I was going to bust stitches loose and end back in the hospital." He said, "But I love it. It was awesome." So you guys go check out that video. It's
Yeah, you really need to go see that video.
it's a good one. So and I've been getting prepared today for tonight. I'm starting my first live tonight at 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, and it's called Let's Talk Bench Rest with Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies. And I got a few people that's going to join me tonight, and we're going to give it a go for our first time. So wish me luck on that, and come over and see me after Georgia Shooting Connection. I'm not trying to take away from that, but when you're done, you're welcome to come over there. So
Good deal. Good deal. Mr. Rebel.
Weather's been nuts. I think we got as high as 80 one day last week, and the other high was like 46. So getting ready for our 43rd annual groundhog shoot. One of my partners is in the hospital, and he didn't really want to do it anyway. So I've been kind of doing stuff by myself. It's a lot of work. I just got through numbering and lettering 120 poker chips. I got to do like 40 more so they can randomly draw for their relay and position. And then I got to make scoreboards. So that takes a little while. I do all that manually, like I'm drafting, and the scoreboards are on like 40 by 40 inch pieces of thick cardstock, so that way people can walk up and see them. And I dread setup and I dread tear down, and I'm praying for good weather. So that happens on the 5th. So I'll try and take pictures, guys. I'm calling the match, so I see the match from the line, and by the end of the day, my head is pounding because I'm getting from the A and the B position. If they're shooting muzzle brakes, I'm catching it, and I got on earplugs, earmuffs, and I'm yelling and screaming in a megaphone all day. So, and they're grown men, but it's like herding cats, relay 7 to the line. You look down at your list and you see, Bob Smith is on relay 7. Next thing you know, Bob Smith's standing behind you observing the match. And you're like, Bob, this is relay 7. Shouldn't you be up? Ah, it's something all the time. So, I'm trying to, a lot of people haven't got back in touch with me. I've got scores that I used last year that hadn't called me, and one target runner with a badass side by side. So I need those to make this happen, and hopefully it might happen last minute, but it's a little bit stressful.
Good times, though. Good times.
Mm-hmm.
Walter, how's it out there in sunny California?
Cast, load, shoot, rinse, and repeat. That's it. That's all that happens around here. Yeah, good week. Got to the range. Took that new Smith & Wesson Model 10 out Monday. First 2 rounds went to Tokyo and back, and then the rest of them all shot good after that. And that's about it. Got some casting done. Got a bunch of casting I got to do tomorrow. And got some videos up on Rumble. Incidentally, for those of you who follow us over on Rumble, they've been having some issues lately, kind of on and off. Some folks have had trouble logging in, and if you wait 24 hours or 15 minutes or something, it seems like you can get in. And they're supposed to notify us as creators when somebody responds to one of the videos, but they didn't do that for almost a week. And then all of a sudden in our email, we get 45 emails from them saying so-and-so just commented when it was like 10 days ago that they commented. And then they kind of did that again for a day. I don't know what's up with them, but anyway, we try to respond to all of the comments over there. But lately we haven't been advised that there's even a comment there. So you got to kind of scroll back through all your work and see if anybody, came on and said something. But so just kind of be aware that they're stumbling a little bit at the moment. I don't know why. But other than that, all's good here. We had a little rain this week. Life's good. As good as it can be in a communist state. So anyway, how about you, Jamie? How'd life go for you this week, buddy?
Better than I deserve. Lord shines down all the time, buddy. My sister had a triple bypass, and that went well as far as we can tell. So that's a blessing. Kyle's wife also had a little surgery, and she's back home and doing great. Bless God, praise God for that. And so they had surgery on the same day, and I kind of snuck in ICU. It wasn't supposed to be there, but I did anyway because I did. And that's just the way that goes. So, yeah, I usually don't say how my week goes, do I? But thanks, Walter. So Hillbilly snuck in here. Kyle's out there, and how's your week, Hillbilly?
Oh man, doing good, real good. Other than running late for this show, I apologize, man. I had to run to the store with Ames, and we kind of got held up a little bit and couldn't get back here quite in time. So, yeah, it's been a good week. I've been out shooting a few videos, and just having a good time. Between me and Chad and Hasbro, Target out there for everybody to kind of go over and show Elijah some love day at the range. So, keep him and his family in your prayers.
I actually was able to watch some of your guys' videos. I think I watched a couple of CW videos this week. I watched a couple of sixes. And I think I saw a couple of Hillbilly Ups. And Walter's got these magnum opuses that I want to sit there and just watch the whole playlist. And
Yeah.
of course, I'll be doing that at work. I won't be able to comment on hardly any of them, but I can still watch them. And if you guys don't watch all of these guys' videos, I encourage all y'all to you panel members, I would encourage you guys to make comments in the side chat so they can go to your channels and subscribe, and or at least you guys can watch a couple of our videos and decide if you want to subscribe or not. It don't cost you anything, and we're not going to bombard you with emails, and we're not going to send you any spam telephone calls or anything like that. Am I the only one that aggravates absolutely to death?
No.
I think
No.
See, tonight our topic is something that we wanted to do for you guys. Is we wanted kind of focus the attention on you guys and what y'all are doing out there in the gun world, and hear about your builds, your what you're putting together, what kind of gunsmithing projects you got going on. Are you building an AR? You got a new rifle, a new pistol, a new revolver. You got a new scope or red dot, and all that kind of stuff. So y'all, and as always, if you're working on something and you think somebody on the panel might be able to help you out, give you a little bit of direction, never hesitate to throw those questions out there, and we'll try our best to catch them and give it the attention that it deserves. But if we miss a question or something like that, please forgive us, because that side chat can get going pretty fast sometimes. But and you reloader guys, if you're working on a cartridge, bullet, powder combination out there, let us know what that is. And there's Tim S popping up with the first one. Load workups for 38 Special, 223, and 308. I don't think you're going to have much trouble with 38 Special, buddy. It just tends to shoot okay. And Crash has got one down there, too. There's Paul out. And we're going to call y'all out in just a minute. Just a few minutes. Check that out. 8-inch 300 blackout AR pistol.
Nice.
fun caliber, really, really fun caliber.
That's a nice little setup, Crash.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Glenn Davis got out and shot some 357 SIG today.
Good. Yeah. Shot his first test loads.
Tell me, a 38 Special was a breeze. Yeah, compared to 308. Yeah. Paul Loud. Need to do some more load development for 243 Winchester. We got a couple of guys around here that can help you out with that. Glenn Davis.
What powder are you using, Paul?
Glenn Davis is doing 357 SIG workouts. Yeah. Yeah, Crash said that was a quiet gun.
Patriot Paul, just make sure you get a steel mold.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we do. Garage guy likes that 357 SIG too. You guys are awesome.
Never seemed to be real popular around here at the ranges that I shot out. Almost never, maybe once in every 3 months somebody will show up with a 357 SIG. Just don't see too much of it. Hey, there's Mac Man. Good to see you there. Julian,
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in a while.
Hey, Mac man.
Here's a question for Six. Tread's wanting to know, is tungsten easy to turn on a lathe?
I know that stuff is heavy as.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so, but I never tried it.
Check
Turn
out
tungsten. Rick, you ever turn tungsten?
Oh yeah. I turned it. First time I used one of these super high performance drills was on tungsten. I was drilling an inch hole, and I was drilling at I want to say close to 6 inches a minute.
Woo.
So is it easy to turn on a lathe?
Yeah, it's just you got to use some good tooling with some good coatings on it. It'll wear it out real quick.
Paul Loud's 243. Y'all ready for that? 1 in 10 twist, 26-inch varmint barrel.
That's going to be a screamer.
Yeah, it's going to.
Try 4350 and play with your seating depth, and you'll find that it probably likes, even though it can stabilize them, it'll probably like 85s and 90s better than it will 100s.
Yeah, that powder Crash, I've been tempted to buy some from American Reloading, and that, what do they call it? MP powder? Is that what it is? I don't remember. Anyway, they got some pretty good deals.
Yeah, I got 2 boxes of bullets from them coming this week. I got some ARX bullets, and I got some 245 grain 45s. They had pulls for good prices.
All right, Glenn's working with 357 SIG, right? Yeah. There's Mac Man. Look at that mess right there. 357 SIG ARs. Goodness gracious,
Yep.
Trev.
Yep.
Yeah,
that would be a really nice carbine round.
He's had a time with that thing. He bought a gas block that didn't. I don't know what was wrong with it, but he ended up throwing it across the yard, and I think he needs to slow it down. The cycling. I mean, that's a hot round, man.
It's a hot one. It's tough. I tried to do it as a blowback, and it rips cases in half.
Yeah.
So it's got to be gas. You can't do it. Blowback.
200 grain bullet for 400 legend sounds reasonable to me.
Yeah, the factory is 215, so the standard factory. So yeah, I texted them back there. Gold Dot's got a 200, Nosler's got a 200, XTP's got a 200, and then of course you can cast. I picked up a 220, a 245, and a 265, all for my 400 legend that I don't even have yet.
There's our buddy AR's out there. Good to see him. Yeah, I think, the standard in 350 is 180 grains for their hunting bullets.
We got 150s and 180s.
150s and 180s and 170. A couple of companies have some 170s in there too, but I don't like the 150s. That's almost round. That's a short little bullet. I like the 170, 180s better.
I've seen the 145 grain target loads from Winchester.
Yeah. They get away with that because it's got really pretty thick jacket in it, so it's a little bit longer.
Tred's still asking you questions. Did you answer him in the side?
Yeah, I answered him in the side chat.
There you go.
Yeah, when you go by your bench and you go to grab a piece of metal that's sitting on it and you didn't realize it was tungsten and it pulls your arm back. It's like, oh.
Yeah, it's some dense stuff.
That is dense stuff.
That is a fact, Thorzak. Mm-hmm. You make great bullets, dude.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
We make some housings for some guys, and they use for gamma arrays when they go down hole. It's got to be that tungsten around it.
You know that 180 bullet that we like, Jamie, in 35 caliber there?
Yeah.
I was loading them. I was shooting them today in the Legend, just drilling like 40 caliber holes for 6, 7, 8, 10 shots, 50 yards.
Wow.
Yeah. Blue dot powder just absolutely drills them in the same hole. About 1,500, 1,550 feet per second.
That's cool. Garage guy got a 4-inch 357 SIG, no muzzle flip. Speaking of new things, Kentucky Rimfire has something to tell us about. He got.
He's muted.
I think you muted, Ted.
Said I can't show it though.
No, you can't show it, but you can tell us about it.
No, I was. I left the range today, and I went to a little dairy bar to get me something to eat. And there's a little hole in the wall gun store right beside the dairy bar. So I said, "Well, while I'm waiting on my food to be made, I'll go over here and check out, see what they got in the gun store." And, I came out of there with a 357 38 Special EAA snub nose. Mark, what did you say it was called?
Windicator.
Yeah, Windicator. And I made it back to the range and shot it with 38 and 357, and man, it's a shooter. But I must say, I don't remember ever shooting 357 before in my life. I've shot a ton of 38 special, and going from one to the other, it's a drastic change.
Big
Yeah.
change in that little bit of a cartridge difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, 57 Magnum in a snub nose can really get your attention. It kicks hard. It's got a blast. It really gets a blast.
A few fireballs every now and then too.
Let me help you out.
When I shoot that little Taurus of mine with full load 357s, I thought it was throwing shaven lead, but it's just the blast. It's kind of nasty.
This also comes in a 4-inch barrel.
Yep, that's it right there. So that MSRP,
That's nowhere close.
that's a little high.
No, it's way high. Check it out. They got a bounty hunter too.
Yeah, that just caught my eye. Dang. I love a long barrel, shiny revolver.
Ooh, it's shiny.
Oh man.
Pretty.
6 and 8 round capacities.
Ooh. Man.
I had a Wire Rock 22 rifle.
It comes in, look at that, 4.5, 4.75, 6.75, and 7.5. That right there looks like a 7.5-inch barrel.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even know they made firearms.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I've never shot much revolver before, and I shot 6 shots, and they were almost everyone touching each other.
Wow. That's good.
From 7 yards.
Wow, that's good, buddy.
And yeah, I know what 7 yards is, hillbilly.
I think a Scotsman said there's a big difference between 7 paces and 7 yards or something like that. I forgot what it was. Yeah, won't be long. We'll be seeing Chad wearing cowboy hat, spurs, and a western belt, and that revolver hanging on his side.
I don't know. Those long barrels right there, Jamie just showed, a matching pair of those might go good for cowboy.
No.
I can also hear him singing Yippee-Yi-Yay Cow Patty.
Who sang that song, Gene?
Jim Reeves, I believe.
Not Jim Reeves.
Or Marty.
No.
Oh,
Bruce Willis.
oh.
Good night, AR.
Who was it, Jamie?
Hi, buddy.
I can't remember his last name. His first name was Jim, if I remember correct.
Yeah, so I got the Jim right part, but
He's the same guy that sang "I Don't Like Spiders and Snakes."
Boy, y'all are getting deep into it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that
Jim Stafford. Jim Stafford.
Yeah, that's
My dad says Roy Rogers. Bobby Barlow got it. He got it before we did.
She rode into town on a cloud of dust on a moot pit she called Flame.
Okay, here we go. What would a good price to ask? Would be a good price to ask for a 72-73 Black Hawk 41 mag in good shape with a leather holster, soft case, and 180 rounds of good HP ammo.
I'll just send it to Viejo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walter's looking for one of them.
Ruger just started reproduction of the 41. They quit producing them for a long while, and they're back up on the website now.
Yep, they released one through Davidson's. Who does their special stuff?
Lipsy's, I think.
Lipsy's, yeah.
I think it's Lipsy.
Yeah.
Davis's does their specials too. They do Talo models and
Right.
stuff. Do you want me to answer that question, Jamie?
Yes.
Well, good shape is subjective. I'm assuming you mean above 90%. If it's above 90%, you could probably get 7.5 for that beast. I'm sorry, Walter, if I killed you there.
I've been watching, and what I've seen in this area is probably between 5 and 8. So same thing.
Depending on
Condition, yeah. And a 3-screw, the screw 3-screw is if it hasn't been sent back, it's kind of a novelty. But if it did get sent back, Ruger always sent the old parts back with it, so you could always change it back over if you wanted to.
The first time.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to have one that's been back, and somebody put the original parts back in, and you send it back for,
You ain't getting it back. Yeah,
you're going to get the gun back, but you ain't getting the spare parts.
that's
you
right.
can't return your gun to factory. They'll do it, but they won't return the parts.
I wanted to tell Kentucky, since he's got his something new that I was told, and I don't mean to be mysterious about this, but he'll get it. I was told by one of my distributors to keep it on the DL because they didn't want to tick off their regular distributors. Apparently, their new sales techniques aren't or the way they structured it isn't working out real well. But a certain very high dollar bench rest scope line has been offered to me. I can't look at it online, but if you tell me what you, or from my distributor, if you tell me what you want, I can get a price for it. And the initials would happen to be NF. Okay. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but that's the best, some of the best of the best. So, but it's the cost of a used pickup truck.
Yeah.
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 Okay, we're late calling out the side chat. What do you think we should type in, Walter?
I was going to say build.
There you go. Look at Timothy Burkett. I got my eye on a pair of Ruger Blackhawks, 4440.
Fun caliber.
That's a great caliber, a great gun. It's going to be tough to source brass for.
Starline's had it fairly regularly.
That's good to know.
I think
Okay.
we got a little bit at the shop.
All right, here we go. Looks like CW Longshot was first. He's on the panel in the side chat. He even beat Walter, who come up with the word build. That's highly unusual. So I'm starting to understand how you guys get in first before the side chat does, because there's a delay. Yeah, so there's that. So Texas 6 is also on the panel. Andy 79Z28 is also on the panel. So is Reloading from the Hot Pot, and so is Mike Hester. And there's Patriot Paul, Edward Petty, Paul Loud, Walks Fletcher, Garage Guy 879, Bama Dad, Tactical Fud. Hillbilly Up is also on the panel, but he spelled it wrong, like a duck. His build. Tim S., Fluffy 10mm Jeep Guy, Fuku YT, Boom, what's happening? Duffer 426, Glenn Davis, Crash, Walks Fletcher, Mark Thomas is also on the panel in the side chat. So is Kentucky Rimfire and Hobbies, Dale Pogue, Bobby Barlow, Andre D'Angelo, Dwayne 7834, the crazy Scotsman. Patriot Paul, Lead Mining 44, Ron 2A Matters. Terry's reloading. Mr. Bob's out there. Old one guy. Timothy Burkett, Kyle Lusk, and I think we're up to date. It's good to see old one guy. Kyle's out there. He's home taking care of Angel this week, so good to have him on with us. Stretch those 40 Smith and Wesson to make it 4440. I don't think that's going to work, Tim.
Maybe you could hook a chain to one end, put it between a couple pickup trucks, pull it out a little bit.
That's a good note from Walks Fletcher. They actually have 430 diameter barrels or bullets.
Should anybody tell Andy he needs to trim his nose hairs?
Yep.
Walter, doesn't some of your guns have that size bore?
Yeah. The ones that I have are all Cimarron or Uberti, and they're all 429 and a half, 430. They're not like the 427s of days of yore.
Let me put this. I got it up there. Never mind, garage guy. I was going to type you a response, but I won't. We'll just talk about this. Local gun shop has a used rifle chambered in 3220. If I remember correctly, it's a Marlin priced at 1,100 beans. I think that's a pretty good price for that. But what I've seen is the older Winchesters in very good shape will bring 2 to 3 times that much money.
Well, it depends on which one, but yeah, they certainly can. There was a lot of commemoratives too. There's 65s, newer ones, and then there's the 92s and the 73s, and there was a bunch of different Winchester levers chambered for 3220.
See, Walks Fletcher talks about them the same way I do. Calls them spaghetti guns.
You got to worry about in some of those is the throats. They can really run you through the ringer because you may have a chamber that's cutting your cylinder for old style, and then it's got a 430 or 429 barrel. Well, if your throat is 427, 426, 428, and you got a 430 barrel, you ain't gonna hit much. You're gonna get all lidded up, or you're gonna have all kinds of problems.
Yeah, with that 4440, the spaghetti guns that I have, as Walks would say, the cylinder throats on all three of them are right at 430. And if I try to chamber a round that's got a 431 size bullet, they don't want to go. I've got to size them at 430. Kind of weird. Seems weird to me that it wouldn't fit a 431.
I just sold an old Smith & Wesson hand ejector where it's laid away in 3220.
I've been watching for a couple months a revolver in one of my local shops. I think it's a JW, some kind of South American. It's in 3220, and it's a copy of the Smith & Wesson. They don't have a bad price on it, but they have an as is, and I'm just kind of leery of it. Would be kind of fun to tinker with, though.
I don't know nothing about JW in South America.
I could be wrong.
When I was shooting silhouettes, one of the guys I'd always shot with, he shot his contender in 3220.
It's a nice caliber. It's a really nice caliber.
Well, he He was when you shoot silhouettes, they have ranks, master, down, blah, blah, blah. He was always right up there. He'd shoot 40 out of 40 every time. And he had it loaded where he was using a rifle scope on it.
I was just looking over on Midway, and they show 44 WCF, aka 4440 brass in stock.
See, that's the thing. Winchester calls everything WCF.
Yeah.
I mean, 3030 is 30 WCF. But when there's somebody else making a rifle, they're not going to give Winchester the advertising. And, the way they, what's the word? Took advantage of, let's say, John Moses Browning. I don't blame him.
That's a battle that's gone on since the inception of the cartridge, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Tim S. Yeah. Anyway, I just Midway has it in stock.
That got really bad with Marlins at a point where Marlin wouldn't even chamber guns for Winchester labeled calibers. That's where we got some of the funny numbered, the number guns like the 3855 and all those. Marlin wouldn't, for a time there, wouldn't even write 3855 on their guns. I mean, it was bad. And then Winchester, and then Remington got involved, and Remington said, "Well, we're going to make pistols." And then Colt got involved and said, "Nope, we're not going to do that." And there was a lot of camaraderie, a lot of fighting amongst them companies way back when.
Those were the golden days, though, man, to me.
Well, there was a lot going. Well, not that there's not a lot going on now, but those were interesting times back then for sure.
Well, I'll say this: that Colt Single Action Army 1873 revolver, it ruled the roost for a long time.
Yes, it did.
I'd sure like to get my hands on one. All I've got are replicas, but new Colts, too large. I mean, they're expensive if you can find one.
Did you see Thorzak's note to you, Walter?
Oh, the Border Patrol, yeah. Wow. Unfired. Holy cow. That'd be a good one to have. That'd be one that if I had it, I probably wouldn't shoot it because I've got a new, a recent issue 57, which is actually a pretty good shooter. I like that gun, but
there's an interesting question. See, I really like 44, so 4440 is the one that comes to my mind first. But I think another one I found is that I'm curious about. I don't know anything about it, but the 300 Savage. I know Mark does some with that, and let's send that question around the panel. What do you guys think? One of those ancient cartridges you'd like to see make a comeback.
The one that just jumps to the front of my mind doesn't really fit the question because I would say 45 Colt. I mean, that's one that's been around forever, and it doesn't need a comeback. It's already here. It's probably going to stay. You know.
Yep.
And some of those earlier calibers were black powder or something like 44 American that was a healed bullet wouldn't work, anything really, probably except black powder. But
I'm not a quarter bore man, but I'd love to see a 257 Roberts come back. That is a neat rifle round.
I think one that I would like to see more prevalent, Glenn Davis nailed it. 45 120. Heck yeah,
there you
dude.
Thank Quigley.
Yeah. Patriot Paul says MagTech is making new ammo with new brass for 4440. Yeah, good one, Glenn Davis. Kudos, brother. CW, what is the one that Ricky Baird got? Ain't it 358 Winchester?
No, it's a 375 Winchester.
Yeah, that one. That one I'd kind of like to see. Isn't it a necked up 30-30?
Yeah, it's blown out straight.
Yeah.
It's a little bit longer, but yeah, not quite as long as the 3855.
Walk says 45 120 is a power waster. Walks wants to see 275 Roberts make a comeback.
Yep.
The Bob.
257 Bob.
I'd like to see some more 10 gauge. I mean, I know they're out there and everything, but
what the heck for?
Oh, man, I love it. I love that.
Making big holes.
Shoot one round a month, man.
What about 8 gauge, man? I mean,
another 29 days to recover.
That guy that was in Appaloosa,
Yeah,
That was an 8 gauge.
8 gauge, yeah.
Yeah, double barrel 8 gauge. That would be interesting for about 2 shots.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to see it in more of a modern gun,
Well, yeah.
And I think people would buy it. I mean, they buy a 500 Magnum. Why not 10 gauge?
Yeah.
Patriot Paul, Glenn Davis is reading my mind. And Patriot Paul 16 gauge should have been brought back. I'm doing my best, buddy. I've accumulated 2 or 3 16 gauges. Glenn Davis wants a 10 gauge. And
cartridges like the 300 Savage and the 284 Winchester brought out today by a company like Hornady, Cook Marketed, would be a tremendous cartridge.
yeah, and make some bolt action rifles for it.
They're both sharper shouldered, full blown out, no more straight cases. They're just a little before their time.
Yeah.
I tell you one you don't see out there too much. That's a 264 Win Mag. Talking about going in little and coming out big. That's stepping and fetching right there.
You ain't kidding. What about you, Six?
Well, other than the replicas they make, I want 4440
Yeah.
or 3220 is what I'd like to see more.
How about the original 10 millimeter?
Which one? The 41 mag?
3840.
3840, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be a good one too. I wonder if they could chamber a semi-auto in the 4440.
My turkey gun, Dave Thorzak's, shoots 3.5 inch Magnum 12 gauge. I bought me a box of 5 turkey loads for that gun, 3.5 inch. Think they were number 4 shot.
I don't know.
Get your attention.
History proves out that a shorter, wider powder shot column pattern's better than a taller, longer one.
Yep.
10 times out of 9.
Yep.
But I killed that bird right there with 3.5s, 65-yard shot.
Dang.
Oh, that some of that new TSS stuff. Hey, guys are making ridiculous shots, but man, you're talking about $8 a shell.
Yeah.
You know,
Can you imagine a 3.5-inch TSS
No.
with number 9s in it?
No, I don't want to.
Talk about peppered.
That's a head removing shell.
Heck yeah. You do that with number 6s. Crying out loud.
Mm.
Number 9s? Oof.
Oh, garage guy, I can see a use for some 10 gauge, maybe even 8 gauge if you're hunting those big Canadian geese and they're way up in the sky. But man, you kill yourself.
I sold my 1051 Ithaca semi-auto when the 3.5-inch came out, and right around that time we went to steel shot required for a waterfowl, and that was pretty much the end of it. I
would have loved
kind of
that.
wish I had the 10 still, but then with steel shot, we just kind of petered out.
I would love to have that Ifka, buddy. Oh.
Oh yeah, it was a nice gun. I should have never sold it. Nice gun.
Well, am I not wrong? I mean, I might correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Ifka have the patent on the 10 gauge until like Winchester or somebody bought it? Or
I don't know. I
shared the
honestly
patent?
don't know.
I was always told that Ifka was the first one to come out with the 10 gauge, but I don't know that to be truth.
I don't. In an auto, maybe, but I don't know about it. Just in general, a 10 gauge, because 10 gauge has been around for a long time.
Yeah, since the 19th century.
But maybe, maybe the first auto, I could see that.
My turkey gun is a H&R single shot 10 gauge, and they loaded the butt with about
a big slug of steel.
14 pounds of cast iron in that open space there between the butt plate and the screw that holds the receiver.
Yep.
That thing feels like 45 pounds when you're carrying it around the turkey woods. It's a very welcome buffer when you put that thing to your shoulder and you're up against a tree and you light that thing off. I only want to shoot it once a year. I don't see anything enough to shoot it more than once. But boy, does it do a job. Probably out to 50, 60 yards. It throws a softball to volleyball size pattern number 4, and it is just brutal.
Yep.
I've actually killed 2 birds with it mistakenly, but probably 20 yards, just blew through both of them. But it does a job. I had my eyes on, and I was going to get one of those goose guns, a 10 gauge with about a 30-something inch barrel.
Yeah, they had them all the way to 42, I think.
Yeah, it didn't have a screw-in choke. My turkey gun does, but that thing was just a mile long and full choke. It probably would have taken down a P-51 Mustang.
Yeah, I had a 38-inch in a pump gun. 38-inch barrel.
Okay, we're going to have to come back to this topic because I'm getting excited about it. But right now it's time for if Gene's ready. You ready, Gene?
I'm ready, sir.
What's Hot Pot got tonight, man?
Hot Pot found something pretty cool. I got 2, actually. I got one. I found this. This just happened to float by me on the, let me drop it here. This just happened to float by me on the bench. Now, looks like what? 380 ACP, right? Look about like that. But this is, it's a Lapua 9mm bench rest. You ever heard of a bench rest short? A Lapua 9mm bench rest short. Now
That is weird.
I tried to look this up, and I hit dead ends. They say Lapua never made a bench rest short. I went to different forums. I Wikipedia'd it. I Googled it. I did everything to try to find some information on this, and all the information says Lapua never made this. Funny, says Lapua on the brass case. Interesting. But that just flew by me.
Might be a Makarov.
No, it's not.
Well, that's what I thought it was going to be when I saw the picture.
It's not. It says right on it, Lapua 9mm bench rest short. It is. Oh, snake eyes.
Mm.
Yeah, I ain't doing nothing but clogging up your machines, dude.
Oh, it might have a center hole in it too, though. I see a center hole in there.
It's not really a hole. It's just a mark.
Oh, okay. It looks shiny.
Yeah, it's just a mark in there. I don't know what that's from, but it's just a mark. Well, I thought that was kind of funny, interesting, cool. What the heck is that?
Yeah.
So I do get to see some what the heck is that? But for the specialty feature on What's Hot Pot Got, I got the S&B 6.5 by 52R.
Mm-hmm.
You guys familiar with this round?
Mm-hmm. European.
I know Brian is, but hey, anybody else? It's just a little mini version of the other one. The 762 by
25, 35.
Yeah, so this round here, the place of origin of this is, I'm way over too far. It's the 6.5 by 52 Carcano. It's an Italian military round, rimless bottleneck rifle cartridge developed from 1889 to 1891 and used in the Carcano 1891 rifle and many of its successors. Place of origin was the Kingdom of Italy. Italiano there. In service from 1891 to 1970, used by Italy, Finland, and Nazi Germany. The wars this cartridge was used in was the First Italo-Ethiopian War, Italo-Turkish War, World War I, Second Italo-Abyssinian War, Spanish Civil War, and World War II. It's actually produced from 1891 to present day. Bullet mass and FPS on this is a 162 grain at 2300 and another 162 grain at 2170. Both being round noses, and I don't understand the differences in that, but that's the way that this is listing it. The cartridge was identified by Warren Commission as a round used in the World War II surplus Italian 1891 Carcano rifle used by Lee Harvey Oswald at the Texas School Book Depository to assassinate United States President John F. Kennedy at Dealey Plaza in Dallas, Texas on November 2nd, 1963.
That's pretty cool all around. It makes two booms with one shot.
There's some other, if you read up on this cartridge, there's some other information with this where Lee Harvey Oswald's family or something had something to do with this cartridge.
Really?
Or one of the firearms associated with it. They had something to do with this.
Huh.
I didn't, I got home from work. I was tired. I fell asleep in the recliner after my pizza, and I got up and I kind of hurriedly went through things and kind of groggily went through things. So that's about all I can tell you about it. That's just the way it is.
I know you said it's still produced today, but my son bought a Carcano rifle and he has a very hard time finding ammo for it. It's not readily available.
Out of all the brass we have sorted come from California so far, we went through half of it, and I've only found 3 pieces of this come through.
PPU used to make it quite often, but probably not much anymore. Yeah,
it's Seller and Balo. But I thought that was kind of neat Just a little, the mini me.
I like it.
But everybody out there, about powders and such, powder prices have went up dramatically. And with this tariff stuff, a lot of things come to Canada. So I believe Vitavori and Alliant, and I think some Ram shotguns comes through Canada, or Accurate. I'm sorry, Accurate comes through Canada. So there may be some shortages on some of those. Our wholesale prices are what the retail prices were last week, 2 weeks ago.
So I was looking for that very ammo for my son, and I had a gun store tell me, yeah, I can get it. So they ordered me 2 boxes of it, charged me $40 a box, and it's not the same stuff as the Carcano. It's a 6.5 by 52, but it's not the same.
Really?
Yeah, you got 2 different ammos right there. A lot of the guys in the side chat are saying the Carcano round is not rimmed.
Yeah, there's a pile of 6.5s that are out there, and the Carcano is not rimmed, right? It's a rimless.
I got 2 boxes of this rimmed, and it will not work in a Carcano.
But it's 6.5 by 52 rim.
Yep.
52R, yeah.
Yep.
That's what I got here. There's just so many cartridges out there.
There's a pile of 6.5s, just an absolute pile of them.
Yeah, here's
military rounds, I mean.
Here I've got a piece of 45 ACP or 45 brass, and it says WCC 90 match on it. Have you heard of that?
It's a what now?
Yeah.
That's another one. As I looked down and said, "What's that?" Picked it up and went, "Oh, in my pocket."
Jamie, I went and shot that new pistol today, and I have a really old box of 38 Special Winchester, and when I opened the box, there was a piece of brass in there that was shorter than all the others, so I thought it was an empty casing, and I pulled it out, and it was a loaded round, and it says 38 Special on the brass, but it's only about 1 inch long. I've never seen one of those before. What is that?
Is it a Smith & Wesson? 38 Smith & Wesson?
Probably a 38 Smith & Wesson or a 38
What
Colt.
it said on it, yep.
Yeah, it's a different cartridge.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
not the special.
Someone had stuck one in that 38 Special box.
That or somebody short shucked one in lever action like I did and then put it back in the box.
Yeah.
That shouldn't be dangerous. I don't think it'll have overpressure, but
Oh, it's lighter, but it should be fatter. Sometimes they'll fit, sometimes they won't.
Yeah,
But it's a bigger bullet.
If it'll fit in the cylinder, you can shoot it.
Yeah, it's lighter than a 38 Special.
CW, what were those land lease guns chambered in the Smith & Wessons? They went over as 38 Specials, and some of them got converted to. They had some weird British marking, or caliber, but it was basically a 38, I think, Smith & Wesson.
38-55.
It was a bulldog, that bulldog caliber.
But it'll say land lease program on it, and
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Lend lease. I'm sorry, not land.
Yeah, Len.
Lend lease.
And I asked Gene earlier in the week if he'd ever seen a particular cartridge, and of course he had. It was what was it, Gene? It's the weirdest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a Yeah,
Mauser pistol round.
Mosin Nagant round. Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that the one with the bullet seated inside the brass?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like a 32 mated to a
Yeah.
32 long, and the bullet seated inside.
Well,
the
you know
brass.
why? You know why it is, right? You know about all that.
Mm-mm.
The cylinder seals against. That's one of those guns is actually one you could silence because the brass actually hits into like a forcing cone reverse in the front of the barrel.
Okay,
seals.
Gotcha. So the
Yeah,
cylinder moves.
Yeah,
like
the cylinder
that.
moves. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
Not a Nambu. It's a
Mosin.
There's a Mosin. Mosin
Oh,
Nagant.
Nagant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nagant 32.
Yep.
Hey, while you guys were talking, Gene, I nosed around a little bit on that 380. Most likely, the BR is Browning, not bench rest, and apparently, 9mm BR short or 9mm BR Corto or Kurtz. Corto is the
380.
Spanish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I've seen.
it's a 380 Browning short, or 9mm Browning short is what that designation looks like it's going to stand for. But
Yeah,
it's a European designation, and you just don't see it over here much, I guess.
Yeah. It's probably just Lapua brass.
Yeah, I ran through all that, but I also tried to look up where it was Lapua brass, and it
That seems weird.
said Lapua. I mean, everything I read said Lapua never made it. But it's
Guess
stamped
what
Lapua.
they did?
They made at least one.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they made one of them.
I got
That was
it.
their
I
test
got
round.
it. I'm the winner. Winner
Prototype.
chicken dinner. Sorry about that,
The car manufacturer never made.
Yeah, sorry about identifying this as a Carcano round. That's what I said. I was a little groggy headed, and that's what I picked up. It is not. It is a pretty neat round.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a cool looking case for sure.
I should have spent a little more time on it like I normally do. I'm just out of it, guys.
Thorzak's over there is talking about something I watched a video on this week about how in World War II, Smith & Wesson made a lot of Model 10s. They call them victory models.
Yeah.
And I think about 500,000 of those were sent to the Allies. And they shot, like he says here, they shot the 38 Smith & Wesson.
Yep.
And they had tons of that 38 Smith & Wesson they used in their Webleys. But it seemed to me like most of the Webleys were 40-something caliber. I guess 45 caliber.
They had a 45
Webley. Yeah.
Yeah. A few of them, actually.
Yes. And one of the ways you'll know a Model 10 victory model is that they weren't blued like that, like the commercial guns that we see from Smith & Wesson, particularly from back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, how that deep, beautiful blue was on those Smith & Wessons. They were actually Parkerized like the 45 ACPs, the Colt 1911s. Yeah, Walks reminds me of that too. They shot the 38-200.
That's it.
There was a 200 grain bullet in that little bitty case. Yeah, Thorzak's 455 Webley. Yeah. So, great discussion starter there, Gene.
Well, at least I got something right, huh?
Oh man.
Hey, I take what I can get. Okay, take what I can get.
This is great stuff, man. I'm telling you, dude. All right. Gene, while you're up here, do you know of any old cartridges that you would like to see come back? and regain popularity?
No, not really. No. I see so many cartridges at work. And then I watch so many videos, and I see so much in the gun stores around, and friends of mine that have. And could you really pick one? I mean, no, I would have no clue where to even just dial it down to one. I get to see so much. I never anticipated working at Republic Ammunition would take me to learning all these Gucci cartridges and the stuff that was shot in World Wars, and the introduction to it. I showed that one black powder rimfire on here. You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
who would it? Who would have known? And these things I guess I'm lucky because literally millions of pieces floating in front of me on a conveyor, and I can just reach down and go, "Hey, what's that?" Or what's that?
Well, you got a good eye for patterns, and that's a rare talent, man.
I don't know if it's a talent or a curse, man. I can't stop picking this stuff up.
I'm just happy that you're sharing it all with us. We've all seen stuff we wouldn't have a chance to get our hands on and never come across at the ranges and stuff where we're shooting. So I'm thankful that you're bringing all that stuff out. It's great.
Well, I'll tell you a pretty old cartridge that Jamie wishes would come back. And it's not that old, but that's 35 Remington. It baffles me, the rarity of that. Now, I know a lot of those guns were produced. It wasn't as popular as 30-30, but it's pretty dang popular. Why is it so hard to get?
Well, they didn't make as many rifles chambered in 35 Remington as they did 30-30.
No.
One thing you got there is Marlin was making 35s, but Winchester and Marlin both were making 30-30s, and so was some other companies too. So Patriot Paul's got an interesting question. What were they old guys using as powder spacer in 45-70? Was it rice, cream of wheat, grits? No, we don't waste grits like that, Patriot Paul. So, anybody know? I've seen them use cotton.
Cotton.
Dacron.
Well, back in the day, I don't think they had Dacron. It would have been some kind of linen, I would think. I don't know. Let's summon the ghost of Custer and ask him.
I bet they were using cotton. .8 millimeter LaBelle. Walk says 35 Remington's over 100 years old.
It is.
Yeah, 1906, thereabouts.
Most of the cartridges
I still get my.
They're always made around the 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Huge period of innovation, industrial wise,
powder wise.
Yeah, well, and that's about the time we were switching over from black powder to smokeless powder, and so there were cartridges that were being developed that would run well with smokeless powder, and some of the old ones that wouldn't, kind of went the other direction, I guess. But yeah, a lot was happening then.
Think about how wars drive stuff. So you're Teddy Roosevelt, and you're going up San Juan Hill, and you've got lever actions and this and that, and they're shooting 7x57 Mausers with a Spitzer bullet at you.
Yeah, after your bullet skips off the ground to get there, they're hitting you flat out.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. 30-40 Craigs just didn't have the range.
That's a neat gun, though. God almighty,
Oh, yeah.
that's a neat gun.
Yeah, it is.
All right, I've got a reply to that. I do have 35 Remington GGW. I absolutely love that thing. I've killed more deer than I can count with that gun, and rarely do they go anywhere.
Jamie, you're supposed to say I've killed more deer with that than Blue Tongue has.
I wouldn't go that far. Service said he's still craving a JM made Marlin 444. I'm telling him, man, you got to stop that. You can cost me a bunch of money.
Yeah, talk to Tread. He
Yeah.
has my old one.
Yeah. Ricky Baird was showing me pictures last night of some of those rounds. So, anybody else got an old cartridge they'd like to see come back? Mark, Kentucky?
Oh, Rebel stole mine. I was going to say 35 Remington, and I was also thinking about the 220 Swift, and I think I saw that come through the side chat. So,
Also, I did a little Google search on that 10 gauge. Basically, anything that's 10 gauge before 1932 was a muzzle loader. John Allen created first 10 gauge as we would know it. And IFCA was the first one to come out with a semi-automatic, the Mag 10. Not only that, they also were the first one to come out with the basically double barrel, that first ones that could do the 3.5-inch Magnum shells. So yeah, they were a big creator. IFCA was a big forefront on the 10 gauge. That's what I thought there was something about that.
We'll get some good ones over here now. Thorzak 7.7 Japanese had wooden bullets for cleaning and cooling.
Yeah, I've got some wooden bullets in my collection.
Walk says 32 Winchester Special black powder loadings were appealed to the old guys that didn't trust the newfangled powder. Service Venator, my 6mm Remington, yeah. Thorzak says I've killed more deer than the entire population of women drivers that have hit deer. I don't know about that. Dave, I only get about 3 months of hunting season, buddy. There, 7.35 Carcano. Here's Glenn Davis, 405 Winchester.
There you go.
Yep, big medicine.
7mm Mauser and 250 3000. I don't know what that second one is.
253,000.
Little Savage cartridge. Yep.
Yep.
Same case as a 300 Savage, just 25 caliber.
Oh.
It was one of the first ones to break the 3,000. One of the fastest cartridges back in the day. And they
a buddy of mine had one built, a bolt action Remington in 253,000 Savage, and took it antelope hunting in Wyoming, and it did just fine.
I had a little 6.5 Arasaka. Somebody.
Arisakas, the old ones are, I think that's one of the strongest actions ever made.
Mark got a good one. Mock. 7.62 Nagant and a production run of the revolvers. I can see you, CW.
He froze up.
Walter, any old cartridges? Oh, you already said, didn't you? 4440.
It's weird.
Yeah, it'd be
that
good to see
last
some
one-
more production of American-made 40 revolvers. You know, you can still get them. They're out there, but
I've seen a
Hey,
couple.
CW, now that you finally logged off the panel, there's only 9 on here, so you should be able to get back in now.
Yeah, there he is. Good night, Andy.
Hey,
There he is.
Night, everyone.
Night.
Not
Thanks
it.
for being here,
night,
buddy.
Andy.
I tell you, if you study the history of American military sniping from Colonel Land in the Marines in Vietnam, Carlos Hathcock, started off with a Winchester 70 30-06, and then I think switched to a Remington, then 308. Came about as a standard, and it went on and on and on and on. And Afghanistan, there were so many long shots that I mean, the record was getting broke every week. It seemed like it went from British to Canadian to American and back, and just stupid long distances, with 338 Lapua to 50 BMG to. We've come a long way, but unfortunately, war drives that.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Military buddy of mine was telling me he was over in Afghanistan, and he was with the snipers running 50 BMG. Said he sighted in on this guy riding a bicycle carrying a big backpack, and they identified him and said, "Yeah, you got to take him out." Said he fired 2 rounds at him. Said the first round flattened his bike tire. And when the guy come off the bike, he got him.
And you could actually repeat that story, way earlier with Carlos Hathcock, who their armorer devised a mount where he could remove his Unordal scope or his Redfield scope and put it on a Modus machine gun, 50 caliber machine gun, quickly sighted in, and he killed a guy on a bike with a Modus, and those butterfly triggers were so sensitive he could pop off one round.
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is.
Mm.
Yeah, they need I would love to see some people making bolt action guns and 35 Remington, maybe a single shot.
Yeah,
That
man.
would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. I'd probably buy one.
Remington released a few of them. They weren't regular production cataloged in a lot of them, but my buddy had a 600.
Mohawk.
Yep.
Oh man, that's
Yep.
a bad little rifle. They're
Yep.
weird looking, but they're bad.
Yep.
Jamie,
Okay.
I'm gonna jump off, Jamie.
Well, thanks
All
for
right,
being
Chad.
here.
Good luck.
Thanks for having me, and
Have
Wish
fun
me
over
luck.
there, Chad.
yeah,
All right.
wish me luck.
see you after a bit, Chad.
See you later.
Buddy. Y'all go watch his live stream if you can after we get done. He'll be coming up at 10, so we got to make sure we get off of here on time tonight in respect for our buddy Chad. But if we're going to do that, I need to get to the verse of the week, don't I? We're going to do something a little different this week, and we're going to start kind of a series type thing that's going to last for quite a few weeks. We're going to be coming out of John's Gospel, and in the book of John, John's purpose is for you to know that Jesus is is God. His focus is the deity of Jesus Christ. So Jesus makes 7 statements beginning with the words I am. And each of these I am proclamations further our understanding of Jesus' ministry in the world. They also link Jesus to the Old Testament revelation of God. So in the Old Testament, God revealed his name to Moses. Remember in Exodus chapter 3, I think it's verse 14 or 15, somewhere around in there, God told Moses, I am who I am. This is what you are to say to the Israelites. I am has sent me to you. So in in Judaism, the Jews all know I am unquestionably stood for the name of God. So whenever Jesus made an I am statement in which he uh, claims the attributes of deity, he was identifying himself as God, as God's son, as equal to God. And we can get into that more if you want to. But the first one that we're going to look at tonight is uh, John 6:35 and a couple of other verses. So if I can get that up there. It says, Jesus said unto them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall never hunger, and he who believes in me shall never thirst. So you got to understand what's going on in John chapter 6, and I'll give you a brief recap. Uh, chapter 6 starts with Jesus feeding the 5,000 with the 5 loaves of barley bread and the 2 fish, the lunch for a little boy. So he feeds 5,000 people, and those are just the men. They didn't count the women and children. Just so most commentators would tell you it was probably between 10 and 15,000, more than likely around 12,000 people. And they took up, when they gathered up the scraps of what was left over, it filled 12 baskets. And that's significant too. We could get all up in that if we wanted to. But if you look down, all right, after Jesus feeds the 5,000, the disciples are waiting on him to go across the water, and they waited on him till dark, and a storm starts coming up, and Jesus didn't make it down there to where they were, so they took off without him, and they get out 3 or 4 miles, and the wind starts blowing so hard they're rowing as fast and as hard as they can, and they ain't going nowhere. And then all of a sudden they see Jesus walking out there to them on the water, and they take him in the boat, and they say as soon as they got Jesus in the boat, or they received Jesus into the boat, they were at the other side, like instantly. And there they were struggling and couldn't go nowhere. So after that, the next day they come back, and there's people there that are looking for Jesus, and they start talking to him, and there's a big debate about Moses giving them the bread, the manna in the desert, in the wilderness, and anyway, we get down to Jesus said to them, I am the bread of life. And so he's establishing a pattern through John's gospel. So Jesus makes a statement about who he is, and he backs it up with something that he does. So in this case, Jesus states that he is the bread of life just after he had fed 5,000 in the wilderness. At the same time, he contrasts what he can do with what Moses had done for their ancestors. Your ancestors ate the manna in the wilderness, yet they died. But here is the bread that comes down from heaven, which anyone may eat and not die. And another verse I wanted to share with y'all. Verse 40 says, "And this is the will of him who sent me, that everyone who sees the Son and believes in him may have everlasting life, and I will raise him up at the last day." Another thing Jesus said in that exchange with him was that his job was to do the will of the Father that sent him, and that he came down from heaven, and his job was to not lose any that the Father gave him and who the Father sent to him. So does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So Jesus is the bread of life, and we'll get into the rest of the I am statements, one per week, and then we may, if y'all like it, we may go on into the 7 miracles of Jesus that's recorded by John. Questions or comments?
It's actually a pretty good chapter to read through. It's not all that long, um, and kind of in between where Jamie started, and when we get up to that first, I am the bread of life. He tells us, they, as Jamie said, they're out looking for him, and they find him, and he says, "You didn't come looking for me, um, except that you got all that good bread." You didn't come looking at for me because I walked on the water and because you saw the miracle. You're looking for me because you got all that good bread. And he tells him, he says, don't don't worry about the kind of food and stuff that's going to go rotten on you. Focus on the nourishment that comes from heaven, because that's the stuff that's going to stick with you. That's going to be the everlasting. It's not going to be this barley bread stuff that I gave you. That was a place mark. So, but the everlasting nourishment is me. I'm the bread of life, and I'm not gonna go stagnant or stale on you like that other stuff will.
I'm glad you said that. An interesting thing about that is the manna that they collected. They were commanded to only take enough for that day,
Mm-hmm.
and when the sun hit it, it would melt away. So a lot of them would gather up enough for 2 or 3 days worth, so that they wouldn't have to go out the next day and actually do work to gather it up.
Right,
What happened to it?
it's
It went
gone with the wind.
rancid. It turned into maggots. And
Mm-hmm.
then, except for on Friday, they were told to get enough for 2 days because they weren't allowed to go do any work on Saturday, which was their Sabbath. So when you took 2 days worth on Friday, you'd be all right Saturday. Amazing how that works, right?
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when you are obedient to God.
Yeah,
I wonder how many of them tried to keep Friday's bread till Sunday or Monday.
I had a really good Sunday school teacher when I was like 12 years old, and he handled us boys pretty good because we were all about the how. What do you mean he was walking on water? How did he feed 5,000 people with 2 pieces of fish? We were all about the how. And then as you get older, it's all about the lesson. Like Walter said, it's yeah, you get hungry, but your soul's hungry too.
Amen. Yeah, we should learn to be generous. We should learn to be gracious and thankful as well, Dad. And Egyptian and Israelites were bread people back then. Paul recently read that Literally planted wheat all along the Nile River and fed slaves bread. So no wonder Jesus used bread as a descriptor. And in the Chosen, the little children were asking Jesus what his favorite food was, and he said, "I think my favorite food is bread." And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a good one. That's a real good one."
But he was also a fisherman, and I use that excuse every time I go fishing.
No, Jesus was a carpenter.
Yeah, he was a carpenter too, but he was a fisherman too.
Well, the 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 disciples were all fishermen.
Mhm.
There's M. Gabriel. What's up, brother?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, buddy.
Either way, Jamie, it's a good excuse to go fishing.
Yeah, we talked one night on here about sayings that people think are in the Bible that actually aren't.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I've heard people say, give a man a fish, you feed him for one day. Teach a man to fish, you'll feed him for life, just like the Bible says. And like, can you show me that scripture?
There's a lot of stuff in Dante's book, which is, not necessarily a Christian book, but it's in Dante's book that gets quoted as Bible verses.
Yeah. People say forgive and forget. That's not in the Bible. Jesus says to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
Nowhere does the Bible say to forget. Another one is God helps those who help themselves. There's some truth to that, and that may be implied, but that's not in the Bible that I know of. And Timothy Burkett says, so Jesus was in the first speedboat. I don't know about that.
He could make it that way if he wanted to.
I think Paul was. I mean, he crashed into an island and got bit by a snake. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, any other old cartridges we want to talk about? You guys out there got any questions for the guys on the panel?
We've mentioned 3855 a couple times. That's a really neat old cartridge. Loaded with modern powder, it is.
Yeah.
I've got a Henry and lever gun in 3855. I've only shot it a few times.
They use that a lot in the cowboy long range shooting.
Yeah.
It's still pretty popular, I guess you could say.
Well, Winchester was making ammo for it up until what, 25 years ago? I guess. I don't know. I had a box and a guy begged me for it because he had it on Winchester 3855, and I finally sold it to him.
I think that Patriot Paul, I think that 45 120 was a power thing. Supposedly that's what Quigley used to shoot that bucket at 785 yards.
950, I think.
No, I don't think it was that far.
Oh yeah, it was.
I thought he had a 110.
I think it was 6. Paper patch bullet.
Yeah, Edward Petty says 45 110 too.
What's the quote out of that movie? He tells the old German guy, you can use a 450 something musket lead and
British musket ball.
Yeah. You can't hardly call what those guys did to the buffalo hunting either.
Yeah, you can get a Maruco in 38.55.
Yeah.
My dad said it was 800 yards 3 times.
I'm going to try to attend the long range match week after next, I believe it is. It'll be the 20th of this month. So it'll be the first time watching one of them.
I would say I'd break out the old Quigley movie and watch it, but I don't have a VCR anymore.
You don't need a VCR anymore. You can look it up on.
Yeah, I know.
He about played every day on some channel.
Yeah.
Besides that, CDs don't play in a VCR.
I know that. Cassette tapes don't either.
or DVDs, I should say.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Quigley Down Under is a fun movie to watch.
It really is. I've got it on the DVD. I pull it out a couple times a year just because it's a fun movie. That crazy woman that he hooked up
Clara,
with.
Crazy Clara.
Crazy Cora, yeah.
Cora.
She played a character later on in NCIS, and but back then when she was younger, I thought she was a good looking thing.
She was.
Yeah.
She was, yeah.
My favorite line in there, my favorite line in Quigley is, "I said I never had a use for one. Didn't say I didn't know how to use one."
Yeah.
Right. So they're standing there just about to die, looking like a deer in headlights, going, but you said you knew. Yeah, I lied.
And Alan, was it Rickman?
Yeah.
He plays the best bad guy on earth.
Doesn't he? Just looks evil.
Yeah.
He was in that Christmas movie, right? He was the bad guy in the Christmas movie.
In Die Hard? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Exactly. He shot a lemon squeezer H&K 9mm. You cock the thing. I've actually shot one. It's a wonderful pistol.
They're a great gun. Yep.
Yeah, you cock the thing by squeezing it, and it was a bad little gun, I tell you. Way ahead of its time.
Yep.
Yeah. So there's the link to Hillbilly show. I mean, Kentucky Rimfire show. So we need to start getting through the panel and saying our good nights and go there and support him. So Walter, Hillbilly, you got to go first. I know you got to help Chad push buttons.
Well, this is his first time. He's pretty nervous, so
Yeah.
Anyway, man, thanks for having me on. Always enjoy being here with y'all. It's just what a great kickoff for the weekend, and appreciate you guys. And if you can, go check out Chad's show next, and then we got Guns Bearing Therapy tomorrow night, and I just got videos coming out here and there. So anyway, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for being here, buddy. And
thank you.
Gun Spear Therapy tomorrow night.
Yep, sure is.
10 o'clock Eastern time.
Yeah.
Okay. Walter, you want to go next?
Yeah, if I can get myself unmuted. Thanks a lot for the invitation. As always, I love being here on Friday night. Gives me something to look forward to, and it's always a real education, for just a lot of different directions. I learned stuff in here every Friday night, and thoroughly enjoyed. The guys in the side chat tonight had a lot to say. There was just a lot going on over there, and so much appreciated over there, you guys. That was just really a good evening tonight. So don't have a whole lot out of the ordinary coming up. We got a Moldy Monday coming up this coming Monday, with old Hensley and Gibbs mold, in number 78. And we'll have the second half of the most current Wad Cutter Wednesday on Wednesday. And we got rain scheduled all next week around here. So I don't know if I'll get to the range. I'm going to try. It'll be between storms. And this new range where I'm shooting gets muddy easily. So we'll have to see if I can get out and shoot some. I want to shoot that new Model 10 again. Kind of like that pistol. I got to get new grips for it though. It's a round butt, and I'm probably will get a set of Hogues. They've got a conversion from a round to a square butt grip for it. Anyway, that's what's happening here. I've got some casting to do tomorrow and some loading and all that other good stuff. And I'll see you all next week at some point.
Very good. Thanks for being here, man.
Good stuff. Always good, Walter.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of that Model 10. I got to find me an old one.
I think of all the ones that I had in my hands and went by, and $200 guns. I just can't even tell you 3 years. Never was a desirable one at all.
Mm-hmm.
Never at all. The 66 was the one everybody had to have.
Yeah.
I had a 66 for a while too and broke it.
Yeah. And then the 65 got popular. But yeah, the 10 was just never, I don't know. People liked it. It always been a liked gun, but it just didn't have the popularity of the 66.
It was popular in law enforcement. All of those cops were issued those.
Barney Fife was issued that.
Yeah. Anyway, who wants to go next? Rebel, you want to go next?
Yeah. Like I say, I'm getting ready for the groundhog shoot, and have sent out a lot of emails and stuff wanting prize donations. I've gotten in one so far, and we've gotten, we're just weeks away. I don't know how the prize table is going to look. I know in the industry it's been rough for everybody, so everybody's tightened up, and a lot of my emails haven't been responded to. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time regardless. I hope I get enough help. I can't be 9 places at once, and I can't do the scoring and call the match at the same time. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to be in the scoring tent if I'm calling the match, because somebody could call foul on that, So
yeah.
Hopefully I'll get enough help and everything will come together at the last minute, and we'll see. This thing's been going along for 43 years, and I don't want to be the one that goofs it up, So
I understand.
Yeah.
So are we, while Gene's still on here, are we on for what is it, June 30th and July the 1st at your place?
Yeah.
Yep.
And that is a what, Monday and Tuesday?
Yes.
And
So
see, I'm going to be off, so I can host y'all. I've already, depending on how many people come, I'm hoping to give you a taste of a couple of different ranges, and I really want to take Gene down to the pistol range at my wildlife club, because it's like wall to wall steel. He'll be like ding 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 ding. Yeah.
So the purpose of us doing this is to invite you guys out there in the side chat to come to a meet and greet, and we need to talk about it earlier in the live stream. There's only 32 out there right now, so if it's got to be the week of July the 4th, but if I think Garage Guy's already said he's coming, so
Yeah.
That'll be cool. So that'd be fun.
It'd be nice to have some people show up that we see out there in the side chat every week, and actually get to associate with them, break some bread.
Yeah, Walks is rushing us up. 2 minutes. Okay, Mark.
Been great. Great to be here. Sorry I took a little break there, but it's one of those weeks. So just wonderful, wonderful time. Great to be hanging out with everybody. So good night, all. Take care.
Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, Gene.
Thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate you. I want to show this. I got a set of these in for a project. These are gridlock grips. I'm going to be shooting something a little bit different this year, part-time in USPSA, and a video will be done when I'm finished with the build to show it off. Other than that, everybody have a great weekend. It's only once around the ride, so always remember to keep blowing that smoke.
Okay. Go ahead, 6.
Thanks for letting me be on here again tonight. I didn't say much tonight, but I've learned a lot, so that's always a good thing. We got Cowboys in the morning. Then we got some other stuff to do tomorrow afternoon. And then Sunday, I hope to do some casting with a 7mm bullet and some more 357s out of my molds so I can test it in that barrel that this guy gave me. So that's what my plans are for the week. And that's
very good. Thanks for being here, buddy. Thank all you guys on the panel. CW, you want to go?
Sure. Thank everybody for coming tonight and everybody in the side chat. A lot of activity. It was really good. I've got 4 videos, I think, next week. I threw a couple of extra in there. I got two channel updates. One has been there for a while, and one I just threw up and threw it in there the other day. But I get to the range with the 14-inch maximum. I mean the 14-inch Harriet, 57 Harriet, and I got a 243 H&R a while back, and it needed a lot of work. And I got to the range with that, and then I got to the range with the 41 Magnum Contender. So I got that video coming up the end of next week. So look forward to those. Like I say, 4 of them. And hope you guys enjoy them.
Thanks for being here, buddy. Y'all check them out. Those are always good things. With that, I'd encourage y'all. Let me say this. To Patriot Paul, we'll meet at Rebels Gun Store, Bullseye Sporting Goods in Vail, North Carolina. Preliminary dates are June 30th and July the 1st. And as far right now, Gene will be there, Reb will be there, I'll be there, Lord willing, and Garage Guy said he's already took time off. So we hope as many of y'all as can will join us, and we'll do a little shooting, a little breaking of the bread, and a little lie telling. And
a lot of that.
Probably. Y'all go check out our buddy Chad over on his first live stream tonight. Going to be talking about bench rest shooting. And I hope the Lord blesses y'all all real good. And if he's willing, we'll see y'all next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good